amazing. But from playing from mid to behind, a few of those fundamentals fall to the wayside, and we see them dropping 2v1s, things like that where they should be winning. And 100 Thieves will always take advantage of those and get a leg up and a few more rounds if you're giving them that.
And I think the idea of the 3D chess game between both of these Sovas is a really important one to kind of look at, because on the other side, Hiko is one of those players that you feel like he's always the last one left alive for 100 Thieves. So that's going to be really interesting to see. But getting into it, ANDBOX will be starting things off.
So ready, let's go.
And 100 Thieves will be on the defense. And hey, here's a little bit of extra good news. ANDBOX, in their time during Challengers 2, were flawless on this map with their pistol rounds. They would love to keep that stat true here as they get into this round.
Doing the 2-3 split towards A. Looks like they are going to keep that spike just back a little bit here. Beautiful 3 to start, but Nitro's coming up huge with that ghost to start. Looks like it's a real quick one here at the beginning.
Down low. He's going to have to keep his life and maybe even find an elimination. Hiko's shoulder, going to see so much information. Still has a knowledge run if he needs it for the eventual take, and that will come through here. The spike is not fully committed, though, so now it's just down to isolating Seb. It kind of feels like he's stuck underneath in hell. The tag comes out. This should be a free kill on the Seb, and it is. Now just down to Vice 1v3. Lots of time to play with, and the spike's still in hand, but seems pretty persistent about trying to find some eliminations over through this A site.
Yeah, he sees 2, figures the third will be there. Frenzy from that range isn't going to give him any benefit. So really just a face-to-face meeting as we start this one off. Kind of testing each other, all dry pretty much throughout each peak there to start, and then through the site. Not too many abilities used unless they were signatures. So shaking off the cobwebs. Here we see the start off, and everything just begins right out the gate. And a quick push towards mid. So we did see the smoke there. Intention was from 100 Thieves that they wanted to gain mid control right away. So we see a bit of their intention. They're going to be getting those buys in. And we were talking about before, ANDBOX buys here. They usually don't hold back. I'm sorry, saves when they do purchase a sheriff or something.
The interesting thing as well, you got to keep an eye on Asuna. He loves to get this run it back sooner rather than later. Steel even bring the Marshal into the mix with the spam from Hiko over towards B main is good for first blood. The spike was leaning this direction as well, but that will quickly change as it is dropped in a more secure location. Trying to test Steel to see if he can hit another one of these Marshal shots. Don't know if I would recommend that personally, but Hiko, he's going to be there with them to make sure that everything stays safe.
Oh, tags, a lot of love at that long position. Asuna finally gets a payoff onto Seb as he waits patiently. That'll be orb control for them, and possibly getting him 2 away from ultimate coming into the third round. Oh, just playing the smoke out here. So patient. Wanted the flash, but he says, why not? Can probably take down 2 or 3 here. Full armor still, or half armor, I should say. As Steel picks up number 2, possibly a third. Nitro cleans that up.
And the last player here is going to be Boy, sitting in A long. This will be a sound cue that will be heard. And, well, you saw Asuna's position was very far forward. He would love to get this elimination online. Just throwing shoulders, seeing what they bait. Nitro from behind will be the final elimination needed. And I'll tell you, it's not often we see 100T pulling out an early Marshal like this, but Steel finds a lot of use out of it.
They do in the heavy save, or heavy econ through with the Ghost. 4 and 1 for Nitro as he picks up another few with that on the second round. So that feels good to be able to have that much money in the bank. And they're sitting pretty now. Hiko's more than happy to sit on that Ares for a bit, get the spams through, and make sure they are deterred a little bit from coming in. They're putting actually a lot of that Sentinel and Find utility over here towards the B site to start.
And I'll say this much here. This is where ANDBOX have to take some dubs. When they're on full buy rounds, they are so good. You need to find a way to take this third round here. If they've dropped right this time, well, things could get dangerous very quickly. And how about it? Mata's actually already tagged up pretty heavily. Has to be used in some self-sustain to get healed up. And also forcing out the healing orb from Ye. And actually, I think he gets denied from the channel of it. So now as Seb will fall. Oh, troubling position starting to come through. Steel's going to find the elimination in response with the Nano Swarm. So we go into a 4v4 situation. Recon Bolt will keep Steel honest in the middle. Boyd's trying to push a little bit extra forward, but assistance from Ye to clean things up, and that'll be the B site cleanly taken by ANDBOX.
You can see besides Mata here, Phantom's focused this round for most all the players. Besides that Sheriff and the Ares, we hear a Spectre on the other side from Spawn here, and it's a 3v3 as the retake. Mata's quite low. Does not have, or he does have the opportunity to heal the wall, but doesn't want to give himself away. They're going to try to get out here with that run it back, and a beautifully played run it back as well, just to pause a bit of time here for the spike kick.
Keep in mind, Hiko's not around anymore, so the ability for 100 Thieves to find Intel is going to be absolutely limited, but maybe it wouldn't matter. Asuna finds one. Now the entrance from the staircase is going to be even trades, and Ethan's able to take the double at the end. The bullet hose of the Ares allows 100 Thieves to clutch up and find their third round.
I can't believe the Ares comes out big as it gets dropped down. That's the weapon that comes into play for 100 Thieves. Ethan's the one to be able to do it. It's going to be an Odin now for Hiko. He says, forget about that Ares. Don't drop it. I'm going to buy something else. What a round. We'll see her here again, Shift.
This is just such an insane retake. And maybe a little bit lucky for a moment that Nitro kind of plays bodyguard because he's down to 31 health, and the snapper for the Ares perfectly found, barely even missing a shingle shot from the hip fire of all things.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a quick cleanup collateral there because you saw so many sparks flying. I thought they were done. Here's one of those sheriff rounds we were talking about from ANDBOX Shift. They should be pretty aggressive if they get a hold of something here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful first blood.
Scary.
Yeah, it's Steel who finds the kill, but the trade will be there. That'll still be a weapon that can be picked up for free, though. That's going to be important, especially for somebody like Mata, who could potentially make good use out of it.
So 100 Thieves are doing such a great job at stalling out any initial strategies coming out of ANDBOX right now. It's been very tough for them to even get ground, find who might be playing at a site to start with, because they're just getting hit with this in the Odin, and then found out on the other side by the push of Asuna or whoever else. And boy, doing a nice job of starting one off as they gain some ground in mid.
Oh, great ground in mid. I mean, this is a complete isolation of 100 Thieves in the middle of the map. Nitro now by himself, 1v2. Boy has not been able to salvage a weapon yet, but Vice has the Vandal that was picked up through B main. Trying to create some space, and that will be just enough of the dark cover to get to 2 ARs. So a potential thrifty on the cards. This would be huge for ANDBOX. Their offensive half, typically their better one, and now an opportunity to hopefully
30 seconds left.
at least get one on the board. Just down to the timing here. Nitro's not going to see the cross. This is going to be
He's read it.
Panic.
So he waits out on the sonar.
Spike planted.
Might give him a smoke to play with out there, but he's still going to try it, Shift. He goes out. He does have the chance to take one fight. 150 on him with hardly any armor on the other two. That could equal the 2v1 here. Let's see what happens.
He just has to read that both players are below him. Here comes the check. Down low. Sees both players. Down to 36 HP. Going to toggle for the spike. Shock dart comes through.
Oh my God.
Not going to connect. Here's the angle. Not going to find the shot. Boy finds 3 in the round. 2 of them sheriffs in mid-map. And ANDBOX, a huge thrifty round early.
That is very, very big. Like we said, they get a hold of these rounds a little bit, and they will stranglehold the rest of the round. They do it with the sheriffs. We're into round 5 here. We are seeing quite a bit of Vandals now coming out of the side of ANDBOX. Further recent games, they have favored Phantoms almost 100%. So we see a little bit of a change here coming into today. Operator out there for Steel. Let's see what happens here. Ye has not put that up into his hands just yet.
You're really interested to see if ANDBOX in this opening will want to try to get this last ultimate orb for Vice to get this Hunter's Fury online. It's a pivotal gun round coming through. Steel with the operator.
Yep.
Now it's actually going to be figured out and then instantly deleted. Mata's going to find a second through mid-map. So all of this mid-market play is wide open for ANDBOX if they want it, but they're going to actually feel like, okay, we've done enough to move the defense around. Let's try to make a play quickly over to Tree. Ethan denies for one, not going to find a second. That will be the A site completely open for the taking for ABX.
Great trades as they catch a bit of 100 Thieves in rotation there. Hiko's going to do what he can now. As the only lonely 26 HP for him. He is going to have quite a bit of utility here, but I don't see any of that really being used. Maybe a bit to get himself one more frag or eco damage. Break the armor, do what he can. Looks like ANDBOX going to grab the second round here of round 5 for themselves of round 5.
Here's a couple of spam shots, maybe a chance to find a few. Okay, Hiko is clutch god, so careful here. There's still an opportunity, but the wide peak comes through from Vice on A arches. That'll be enough for the elimination, and after the thrift, the ANDBOX find a way to take down 100 Thieves full buy, and that will be enough for them to bring this within 1.
Yay, 5,200. Okay, there's the armor plus an orb, so it looks like he's just going to buy himself up a rifle again. I think they're liking the way that everybody's able to be together here. Putting Ye on the operator does have to cause that Sage to be back, so they're going forward. They're playing strong. Looks like they're going to be 1 on orb. Could be a focus for Mata here, as we have 7 ults across the board up right now with 2 on deck. 1 for each side there.
This would be the moment where ANDBOX could really start to take charge in this offensive half. got 100 Thieves on the save round coming through. Beautiful long-range angle from Boy. He's going to get tested again, actually. Shots from Nitro have not lined up yet. Seb is also here for assistance, and Nitro's brought down to a single bullet worth of health, 7 HP on board with him. And meanwhile, all of this leads to ANDBOX recognizing the situation and saying, let's go ahead and test 100 Thieves over towards the B site.
Oh, there's the pop-up. How's that going to play in? Yep, Ye gets steal. I love the push there from 100 Thieves. They got up to the front of Cat, to the long A, and they were able to instantly understand that they had a bit of info, but ANDBOX was ready for it. That was amazing to see from Boyd there. Now they're going to be into that B side shift, and it looks like they're going to be able to get this post plant down.
Keep your eye on Seb rotating through mid.
Ooh.
Well, 100 Thieves, they are stacked up over towards this defensive re-entry. If no one is going to read Seb from behind, there's one. Ye is able to help out for a bit of a crossfire for the second.
Hiko.
Good luck, have fun here, Hiko. Not going to be able to find anything in ANDBOX. Tie up the series now, 3-3 in the map.
I think they're finding their stride. They're understanding if they push a little bit towards one side, their initial opening frag is hot right now, and they're able to take down one. They're able to find where Hiko might be, get that Odin spam out, okay, who else is peeking, and just play the round as such. I told you before in kind of a baseball analogy that they look at the first few pitches, and then they'll do something, and that's usually get the op into Ye's hands. Here, they're working around that and just as a team very well as they kind of dissect what 100 Thieves is doing, and really they're not having to use that much utility to get in here.
Well, hey, their on-base percentage in their last 3 innings has been great.
Yeah.
So now it's just down to can you keep that momentum running.
First.
Early lockdown defensively here from 100T. Asuna's going to use this as a chance to also try to clear with the run it back, so nothing is happening over towards B. That would be really good information for 100T, but it does cost them a lot. Hunter's Fury is even going to be pulled out here as well. Ethan trying to use that to move forward. It's going to be an even exchange as Hiko finds one. Yay, the response. We go 4v4 with 1:03 to play.
Seb could throw that lockdown in. Knowing the Hunter's Fury is down is fantastic. That's exactly what they needed out of Hiko, to use that lockdown flawlessly. And there you go. They throw it down. We'll see what they can get out of this hold.
I'm a bit puzzled on why you would maybe not try to save that Hunter's Fury to deny this. Maybe they're thinking the shock darts will be enough. That will not be the case. Mata now moving forward. Actually, the lockdown does get destroyed, but Mata still moving quickly forward. The trades will be there. Curveball up top. Hiko has stayed alive and found elimination. That'll keep things contested. We go to a 2v2 situation. Steel and Hiko have successfully held off this execute, and Mata almost gets caught with his blaze wall. Takes out the weapon, refines Hiko just up the Steel, who also peeks the same angle. Weiss is there for the kill, and that's now 4 rounds in a row for ANDBOX.
Those are such awesome rounds to see, because as it unfolds, Shift, we understand that that was used in mid, Hunter's Fury first, with a peek to get an eye on somebody, knowing they would probably force a lockdown over at A. Hiko has the darts for that. Then the played out round does not go in their favor. So a lot of back and forth mind games right there from both teams. That was awesome to see. We thought it was a mistake. It wasn't. The end of the fight, ANDBOX said, no, this is still ours.
And this is where ANDBOX, again, has been great. When they're on a full purchase, 77% win rate on this map through Challengers number 2, the main event. And they're showing exactly why. I mean, find yourself that one thrifty round, and it leads to 3 full purchases afterwards. And now once more, you've got 100T sitting with just pistol upgrades, which, to be fair, you could never rule out someone like Asuna from finding value with the Sheriff, but it's going to be that same double peak, and, well, 7 Boy are in the same stacked up position vertically. This time, Nitro being a little bit more safe about it. He's definitely learned his lesson from the last time he was here.
Yeah, that was a quick take. Seb's like, oh, it didn't work for me. It would just work for you. So they get back here. Alarm bot's out, so they'll know if they try to play pressure towards at least the alt orb. That'll be good for now. KJ can actually play a pretty good distance around that and continue to hug Cat if she wants to and keep that alarm bot active. So they have a lot of options here to just wait for 100 Thieves to do a little push if anybody gets antsy. That's all very defensive sided for them this round. Few Sheriffs, Classics out, so they're looking to get those close corner and angle shots out on ANDBOX.
4-man stack through mid-market. Weiss is going to be the one who picks up the spike. He will likely approach through B main. No, he's actually going to wrap this back over to mid. They're going to flex this over to A short. Asuna is here. Going to miss the first shot. Hot hands to slow things down. Not a lot of time on the clock. 22 seconds. and this hot hands is becoming a huge deterrent. Flash comes through, but it completely misses Asuna. He finds the first. Now through the slow orb, Nitro gets the second. You gotta keep in mind, look how quickly 100T is moving on over. Do they even need to rotate over? Asuna's doing so much, but just in the nick of time, ANDBOX will get the spike planted.
Rez comes back up, 3v2. They do have find, they do have shock darts, so the best ones alive are here. Turret goes out real quick. That could detect right away. Shot down immediately, and they start to trade.
Hiko, last one left alive, not gonna find anything. And hey, okay, I think if you're 100 Thieves, you're looking at that round saying, that's not bad. We forced out a lot. We forced out the res, we get a couple of kills. That's gonna keep the economy largely honest as far as not being able to snowball out of control. And now we can go back into a full buy round and try to turn this half around.
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
What? It's never over till it's over. You can always say that. And the ultimates are still starting to stack once again as we get here rounds 8, 9, 10. We see a few more coming up for both sides. But we have to take note that most of 100 Thieves' win percentage comes on their defensive side.
That's true. Yeah.
When they're defending here. So for them to be losing these rounds, ANDBOX is putting themselves in a very good position. It's almost about 60% of the rounds round win rate rather. Words are hard today. For their defensive side, and we're not seeing that right now.
Oh, that's just a free kill for Asuna every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Nobody even checking over through a short.
Yep.
This peaks mid, easy first elimination. That's your self-sustain of Yay down. 5v4 situation. And, well, it's going to have to be onto, you would feel like either the combination of Vice and Mata to find the elimination over through B, or potentially if Seb continues to lurk around this alarm bot, maybe a chance to pull somebody off over through A, but that'll be collected, and it looks like ANDBOX will set up for a B hit.
So, Vice has Hunter's Fury. If the spike was so much deeper inside, it'd be perfect right here. But they aren't going to be able to get close to it. All right, moving in now. Nice flashes coming out. I think they're going to hit this ship.
Oh, and how about Mata? He just goes right through the nano swarm. Very bold and brazen, to be sure. Gonna get the self-sustain off the hot hands. Blaze wall to block the defensive spawn, but you have to get through Hiko. Oh boy, and how good have the LMG plays been from 100T. Hiko finds 3. It's up to Seb 1v2. Spike is down just inside the archways. And the counter defensive Phoenix utility causing a big deterrence. 6 seconds on the clock. Seb has to try to make a way to plant. There's the flash. Asuna to challenge. Should have a free kill here and will. Big bounce back round for 100T to bring it back just within 1.
Incredibly big round there. 3K from Hiko trapped in the back of Boathouse with the Odin. That is exactly what they needed. ANDBOX has been able to kind of just puncture the defense right now of what 100 Thieves has been doing. Hiko says, let's put that win rate percentage back in order here. And we'll get this one. Great cleanup by the rest of the team coming through. Now we're still to a buy round here. Operator for Steel. Still, now we're looking for Phantoms as they all go over. We saw a lot of Vandals. So it's kind of ebbing and flowing here for the buys of ANDBOX. And what rifles they're favoring is it looks like to be a little mid push here for both teams.
And it could also be just a suggestion of when this execute comes out, how fast will it be for
exactly.
Like ANDBOX?
Yeah, you're going to be close. Are you going to be medium range? What favors?
That hurts badly. Steel with just the perfect angle over the top of the dark cover, finding first blood to run it back, getting denied it simultaneously, but there is at least even eliminations. Ethan playing with elevation, but Ye says, I know that trick. Hiko now over for the Hunter's Fury, finds one. Nitro moving forward. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful paranoia play that is. And 100T, they find a way to lock things down through tree, no problem, to tie us back up at 5.
Oh my word. Those rounds of chaos, so many different angles created. Nitro pushing through a blind in his own smoke. Everyone was creating their own opportunities there out of the chaos, and 100 Thieves was thriving in it.
Wow. I mean,
that was all solo plays. That was awesome.
Yeah. And it starts from Steel, right? I mean, he sees the information on, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't get a collat with that first peek. They were stacked on top of each other, but getting that information is so huge. Hiko with the gut check call saying Hunter's Fury, let's go. It just tailors back that execution speed that we were kind of maybe alluding to a little bit. But still enough of an economy for one more buy round here for ABX. And, well, they want to try to stack at least initially over towards B. And this has been exactly where Hiko has been favoring. Although this time, again, that play with elevation. There's the collat. Steal for two. Gets himself a third. And the attacking lockdown is essentially going to do absolutely nothing to at least stall off the defensive pressure. Sure, the spike will still go down, but this is a difficult 2v4.
Honestly, I thought this was going to be an op versus op game. Possibly Ye's coming out. Just missed Nitro's there for that one. But we came in here, Shift, thinking this would be an op versus op. Ye versus Steel, when they would find each other, who would be better. And we have not seen ANDBOX bring out the operator. And Steel has been driving this train.
I mean, to be fair, it has to be a lot of eco to play with before ANDBOX will sit there and say, okay, our Sage is going to pull out the op. But this collab, that is absolutely beautiful. And then just the bold, brazen challenge to take the third peak. I mean, there's no escape there. You have to hit that shot. I mean, there's no dash back or anything of the nature. And Steel's confidence just dominating this map at the moment.
And we mentioned earlier, being on Sage as well doesn't lend itself to being in the back, opping and not being with your team at times to create the post plan. So it does make it a little harder, as you're saying, to make sure Ye can get to that econ. Make sure he is it. Now they're on the Ares, a few different buys around, a Spectre for Seb, and Asuna is going to make quick work of Mata. A little Phoenix on Phoenix action, as it looks like they're going to be over on the other side towards B here, making it work as they defend off. That Steel's ultimate going down.
Another one of those head-to-head moments that the desk was bringing up, talking about that battle between Asuna and Mata.
Yeah.
Recon Bolt will reveal Steel's position. He'll back away. Plenty of space to work with. Also has the safety net of Hiko, which will feel very comfortable, that's for sure. Wall in the middle of the map will be broken. Hiko is going to scout things out. Only really sees one, so it's not a terrible amount of information when it comes to influencing defensively what you're going to want to do here. So this is still possible for a 4v5, but with 45 seconds, there has to be a commitment, and, well, that's the spike carrier down as Steel finds Ye. That's a lot of intel for 100 Thieves on what exactly this hit will look like eventually for ANDBOX.
That Odin play as well, with having Steel there and Hiko, means he can always punish. It's never an ult orb that ANDBOX grabs for free, because there's always one to peek it. Hiko's safe to spam because Steel's there, and they just rinse and repeat as his signature darts come up, so they can always know what's going down in B main. They've held it off there, and a few frags over towards A. It leaves Vice alone, and Nitro, comes up with two there for himself once again.
Switching sides.
You could really feel in that first half how things started to change. It was a great start for 100 Thieves.
Easy.
It was the first thrift that comes through where ANDBOX, we talked about it, they love to get in an economical advantage, and when they do, it's very difficult to find wins versus them. So once that thrifty comes out, 5 rounds in a row. But from there, as soon as 100 T is able to put themselves back into some favor, get this operator online, it was just a Steel show from there on out.
I love the extra peek there, because he knew he had a bit of the smoke to work with, so he's not seen the whole time as he comes out, right? He still pops out of a smoke that they laid to block him from being there, so it almost gave him another avenue to work with there for him to peek in and out even faster. We'll see what we have here. First round, second half, an insta-wall. They are not playing around here to start, Shift.
This feels like we went into the lab and we know exactly what 100 T wants to do. They're setting up for it, and there it is. It will go over the top. So the commitment's still coming through. And ANDBOX, they're in a position to use this dark cover as a bit of a blanket as well. So now 2 kills come through defensively for ANDBOX. It will not stall out 100 T too much, as they still will move on to the site. Get the spike planted. Nitro is actually delaying his playthrough B main, so as Hiko finds one, this is still very doable. Hiko's going to find a second. Nitro from behind pinching, finds one more. So now even numbers 2v2. Hiko for 3. It's just down to 1. And Ye stuck on the staircase. Oh my goodness. Nitro's patience. Well, it is a virtue after all. Huge to allow 100 Thieves to get onto the board here for their next pistol.
I honestly thought 100 Thieves kind of put the foot in their mouth there, because when they ran in, a few of them sat in the archway to fire at whoever was spawned. In that play, when you go over, that's an instant insight, somebody near switch. Kind of, you obviously control sight, but I thought they took too long. It did not matter. Their post plants are quite strong, especially when he goes alive in that boathouse. We see him coming up with another 2-3K as per usual once he's alive in those instances. So 8-5 here as 100 Thieves start to separate themselves a bit, get a little money here for the second round of the second half shift. And it looks like we'll get a little bit of cat and mouse here in mid.
Beautiful first blood from Ye. Aggression still coming through for 100 Thieves, but this is not part of the spike hit. The spike is actually still left over through A long. So all of this aggression is largely just to see if ANDBOX will kind of fold over towards their A setup. The spike is collected. Mata's playing forward through mid, and he is going to call for reinforcements. You see there are some active things coming through, so 100 Thieves will definitely recognize that there is a bit of an isolation moment where ANDBOX is stuck. You even see that coming through. Hiko going to throw the recon bolt, and then some shock darts. The flash is decent, and the kills, well, they're not nearly as good. Boy only for one response. Hiko comes back to the play to clean things up, and 100 Thieves on 9.
Oh my word. Nitro is just picking up these kills of people who've been peppered by abilities. Hiko with a beautiful shock dart there. Nitro to just capitalize with a few shots. And everybody fragging quite well on the side of 100 Thieves right now. Ethan at the support. It's all right. You do what you can. You hold up with the anchor. But everybody's doing what they can to make sure these rounds get in their favor, stay alive for the time being. And I think it plays out. We still see Ethan holding on to Eco, making sure abilities can be his #1 thing, with Sage being a little econ heavy. And we'll see him continue to stick on Spectre here as the rest of the team upgrades a little bit. They're playing with confidence still, too. We saw Asuna with a second-round Phantom there, only being a few rounds up on ANDBOX. And that could change things. We saw ANDBOX grab a Thrifty earlier.
Oh, Mata holding down the trigger. Needs to get a headshot here. Steel going to collect the AR. Make good use out of it. Seb is there for a 1 exchange, so defensive numbers still prevailing. 3v2 situation, but Hiko has earned himself a Hunter's Fury. And look at his position. He's all the way through onto A. He's got no spike to play with, but there's an opportunity where he can just play the rest of this round from behind ANDBOX, and that could lead to some success here.
I think you just saw Seb think of the same thing. As you said it, he basically swung around. He's like, wait a minute. It's a little too quiet over at A. Nice sixth sense there that he's playing with. And we are going to be heading into round 17. Are they going to be able to get this? Or, sorry, 16. Is it? I can't count now. Don't do math on stream.
Never. The good news is
Never.
They added this nice little round counter to the top middle, and that's saved me so many times.
That's true.
Riv, I can't even tell you.
So I was right the second time. We're feeling okay. We're feeling okay. You're looking at money and scores the whole time. So Spike's focused towards A, but 3 towards B. Shift. Check this out.
The recon bolt will not see anything. Shock dart also forced through. Hiko just going to go in a little bit of a scouting mission with the Aldrin. And actually, the backup from ANDBOX is great. You don't really know if you're 100 Thieves how many members are over here outside of just Vice. So they're going to use this to grab an orb and then likely probably back away. I mean, you've got a setup for ANDBOX over through A main, but Ethan's just going to play the lurking role and sit here and see if he can just find some eliminations, of which he almost does. But Ye will find the counter. Nitro also going to commit from the shadows to play on top of the B site. But he's not being challenged, and as the rest of his teammates get onto A, he's going to be on this island lurking for a long time. And he's going to be so far removed from this play.
Getting themselves placed up, nicely done. I mean, the commitment to that play, obviously, as you said, is going to draw people towards B. They do a great job here. We'll see what happens as ANDBOX makes their way in. Looks like they're favoring the door. And they will have a bit of that Sova utility to get back in. Here it comes.
Okay, that's just an information just so Hiko knows exactly where to throw these darts. And oh my goodness, how beautiful is that? Gets Vice off the floor. Steel finding another. Ye up top, responding to one, but Hiko's going to come right on in behind Mata, leaving Ye by themselves. 1v2, and Nitro is behind him. He could isolate. There's one. Maybe one more up top. Does he recognize Nitro's up top? I don't know. Might not make a difference. There's not enough time for a defuse. Anyways, Nitro is just toying with them. That will be the elimination. Nitro will still fall, but 100 Thieves, they lock down their 10th round.
Finding victory from the attack side. 100 Thieves ever so slowly gain round after round here. They're coming down to the wire, too. Nitro was able to play that one very smart, just time it out. But here you can see the retakes are so scattered. They're pressured, and I think that's exactly the kind of opportunity 100 Thieves wants to create. As I said before, if you get ANDBOX down to those last moments, like we saw C9 Blue doing in their games, Challengers Week 2, Day 2, those games really saw a bit of scatter from ANDBOX, and I think that's what 100 Thieves is trying to get out of them right now.
ANDBOX recognizing that the threat of this game getting a bit out of hand, they have gone into essentially a force buy situation here. There are a couple of ARs that are earned, but Hiko so good with those shock darts, making sure that ANDBOX's tactical retreat was always contested. Yay, mid-market. Denied by Blazewall. Also could not fully see the backside of Ethan. Playing with that elevation still. Asuna gets the double, and 100 Thieves right back onto the B site for a quick plant, looking for a flawless.
Firing on all cylinders now. Absolutely dominating rounds. And look at their health. Coming into this, it's like they didn't take too much of anything. Seb's going to do what he can to take 1 or 2 out on the way out here, along with some armor. And it's a quick Guardian shot from Steel. Those ones, you feel that at home. You feel that come right through the screen. Round 18 coming in here. 100 Thieves looking to capitalize now on economy heavily as they continue to take away that money from the side of ANDBOX. They're going to be on Sheriffs this round. We'll see what their defensive push in. Looks like they may have 3 go strong out A here. Kind of just hang out a little bit more forward so they can get some early information.
And, you know, I think this moment, you know, from round 17, the round prior, it really says a lot about how ANDBOX want to make sure that they are still staying proactive and not just playing a reactionary game defensively here. Going into that force buy, I mean, the other option was to go onto your eco last round and then have a full buy here, but you're still looking at the same score where you're guaranteeing 6-11. So they're trying to play for a 7-10, and then you've got an opportunity maybe to really kind of hamper that economy of 100 Thieves, but now you're in a situation where you're essentially playing for overtime. I mean, you're going to take your tactical here, but you have to hope that there is some isolation to pick up a weapon and then maybe get into the hands of Mata for a run it back. That's really your only win condition in my mind.
Let's be real, Shift. 100 Thieves love themselves some overtime, especially when they're ahead.
You know what? You're right.
That is something they do love themselves. So we'll see if ANDBOX can muster that up. They do have quite a few rounds to go. And the thing is, they have to tackle the economy of what 100 Thieves has built up here first, too. So it's always a tough ladder to climb. Oh, peekaboo.
Have to try to keep safe here. You cannot allow Ye to fall. No. Wall will come through the slow orb, a huge detriment. Vice will only find 1. Attacking lockdown will come through. This should be 100 Thieves just rushing onto the site. Nano swarms will come through to stall for as long as possible. Nitro watching the flank the whole way. Will only grab 1. There is an opportunity for Seb to track back and grab this AR, but this is still a very difficult 2v3 with the spike being planted.
And they're already pushing all the way through. A great job at taking control of areas that they need to. Free space, it's theirs. And that makes the retake even harder. I'm pretty sure Asuna just saw the back there, so they know they're both coming around the back of B here. So they finished this one out, barring any errors. And they're looking good on game point here against ANDBOX.
If Seb can find 1 elimination,
they're split up enough at that point.
Right. And there might be an opportunity to immediately put down the lockdown to maybe get some space. But time is becoming a problem, and there is still the consideration that maybe ANDBOX could just play for exits. Oh my goodness, Steel, what in the world?
You know what? Really? So when you feel that mental from your opponents that they are just firing confident shots like that, you don't even want to peek. You try to peek even less of your shoulder or tuck your shoulder in when you peek. It just becomes a okay, we got to do this together because Steel is on point. The entire team is vibing. They're not second guessing angles. It's so hard to play against that, and that's why one of the reasons we see 100 Thieves able to lock in these top spots in tournaments is because they find this groove and you can't knock them off.
Well, there's 12. It's going to have to be 6 in a row from ANDBOX. They are essentially zeroed out of their economy for this, I would say, full buy, but there is still a little bit of utility missing overall. You're going to have to cleanly take this defense, first and foremost. You do have a lot of ultimates to spend, so maybe an opportunity to gain an advantage there. You see the Aldrun from Hiko clearing so much space. Dark cover to set things up. Utility being spent to try to stall this, but using the wall to get over the top is 100 Thieves, and they are in a position to be on, but Vice lining up too. Boy finds the 3rd. Asuna is through, but I don't know if he's in a position he really wants to be. Just down to Hiko. 1v4 situation, and he's got no spike to play with. Finds the first, gets the 2nd. Hiko, what in the world? Now a 1v2 all of a sudden. He is low, but has utility to play with. Not going to get a lot of information off the recon. Bolton Mata puts it down, but just when you thought that ANDBOX was taking our narrative and running with it, saying, okay, you guys want a flawless defense? Here it is. Hiko says, nope, not so fast.
And you get the res out there too. Econ save coming in for Boy. They're going to have a weapon on that. Maybe a little drop around. No, he's actually going to buy himself there, so everybody else is cleaning up too. So we see these two, and it does become scary. I don't... People give Hiko those shots. Don't give Hiko those shots.
No.
Don't do it.
There have been too many situations in the VCT, both stage 1 and stage 2, where it's like, all right, 100 Thieves are going to lose this round. Oh, wait, it's Hiko that's left alive. And I think we've all learned our lesson that there is no such thing as an unwinnable round when Hiko's still alive.
He was born in those situations. So see what they got here coming into round 20 shift. It starts off on Cat once again.
Not bad. Aggression through the middle, using the Hunter's Fury as well to clear a little bit of space, but Asuna coming back, had to run it back to play with. That'll be enough to isolate and eliminate one more player. But they'll have to still move back towards the spawn to get this spike. It is a 2v3 situation. And, well, information here through mid. Ye tagged. Hot Hand's going to come through to deny the second peek, of which Ye's not there by themselves. Boy's also in the mix, and that's 2 rounds in a row. ANDBOX starting to grow some legs defensively here.
That was a great Hot Hands. ANDBOX snapping back immediately when they need to. And this is something you need to see from every team with this caliber of play. You are on match point. Nothing should change about your gameplay. You still have to play confident. You still have to play smart. You cannot play to not lose, which means you're going to sit back, right? You always have to play to win, and they have kept themselves in this. This is exactly what you need to see here this late in the game. This late in the stage of the tournament, I should say.
Just want to point out again that Asuna v Mata conversation. 20 and 13 for Asuna. 10 and 18, I think I saw there for a second for Mata.
Yeah.
So just kind of giving some fuel to the desk later to maybe bring that point back up if that is something they feel is considerable. Hot Hands denying Mata a chance to leave. ANDBOX. They're in a little bit of trouble, though. There's not a lot of help here. Vice has to come forward. Finds one beautiful snap for the second. Again, this is an economical advantage coming into this round for ANDBOX, so it should be a round that they win, but 100 Thieves are definitely throwing their weight around the rink in these save rounds. Not the greatest shock that we've ever seen from Hiko, and, well, a better one coming in response from Vice, putting him down to 61 health, and a lot of time to play with, but no spike, and you've got to get through all these 3 members of ANDBOX mid-map. That will not happen, so as expected, ANDBOX take their 9th round, and an opportunity still to find their way back into an overtime situation.
Absolutely. Now, it's interesting to talk to players as well, because I remember hearing Shahzam say in different tournaments, you know, it got kind of close there at the end. I believe it was even an ascent map, and they're like, no, they didn't even get to double-digit rounds, right? I think they took them at 8 or 9. But from our, from this point of view, it seems like things are getting scary. Maybe 100 Thieves feel comfortable. They know they had an eco to a gun round to go with, but I don't think anybody ever wants this to happen, obviously. So 100 Thieves really want to stop the bleeding here. Ye has brought out the op shift.
Oh, the tag.
No
Hiko
way.
straight
No
into
way.
the Hunter's Fury. Vice will fall. Ye tagged up. Mata's looking to respond by moving aggressively, and boy, has he. He's actually taken Hiko completely unawares. So after all this opening engagement, we were left with the 3v2. A lot of it happening through the middle of the map, but while all that's occurring, 100T has worked their way onto the B site cleanly. So all of that distraction was purely that, just the guys for where they actually wanted to go. And now it's up to Mata and Boy to retake, save that. Now just down to Mata. The lockdown will force him to likely have to play aggressively to delete this. That's not what you want. Decides against it. Just one curveball to work with, and over the top, Ethan, a beautiful headshot. 100 Thieves.